What's up, everybody? You were tuned in to the Cris
Mal.
podcast, episode 80, Takeover Wednesdays. Hope everybody's having a good night, whether you're at work, you're at home, whatever you're doing. Hope you're having a good night. Like usual, we have a lot to get into. So, without further ado, let's get to it. And we are back. Cris Mal podcast, episode 80, Takeover Wednesdays. Mal, what's going on?
Man, not much, bro. Feeling good, man. How you doing?
I was doing good until I had a flat tire. But, it's all good.
All that money we got supposed to be going into our infrastructure. We getting more potholes than they do have in Cali. Shit's crazy.
Yeah, it's bad out here. Oh, well, let's talk about these topics, man. Let's talk about game one.
Yeah.
Pull this up real quick. There you go. So let's talk about yesterday's game. Well, Tuesday's game. Celtics versus the Pacers. Celtics ended up pulling out from overtime, 133 to 128. The Celtics had a kind of a lead in the beginning, and then Pacers started chipping away at that lead.
Yeah.
Miles Turner had a pretty good first half. So did Halliburton. And they end up pulling it close up at halftime. Then in the third quarter, Pacers started, feeling it a little bit, but Boston was still there.
Mm-hmm.
In the fourth quarter, they had an opportunity to win the game,
Mm-hmm.
but they blew it and they end up going into overtime. And usually, when the team doesn't finish the job, the underdog doesn't finish the job in regulation, they usually don't win in overtime. So.
Mm-hmm.
It was still a close game in overtime, but at the end of the day, Halliburton, he kind of choked up, had some costly turnovers, and Boston ended up pulling it out at the end, man.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the game?
I thought in the beginning portions of this game, you kind of saw the Celtics controlling it for the beginning part of the first quarter. Then obviously the Pacers seemed like they got in their rhythm. They were able to speed them up. You kind of started seeing the lapse that the Celtics do have within the game. Usually, like in the previous two series before this, they were able to dominate game one. This game was obviously a little bit more closer. I thought the free throw disparity between both teams was a big part of that. I think the Celtics shot, almost like 30 free throws compared to the Pacers only like 11. Mm-hmm. So that's 29 extra attempts they could have got for points right there. And the Pacers were able, they should have had this game from the rip, you know what I mean? As far as like going into the fourth quarter, with 10 seconds left, they're up by 3 with the ball. All they had to do was inbound the ball. They still had a timeout. They didn't call the timeout. And then Nebhard ended up trying to throw it into Pascal Siakam. Siakam couldn't control the ball, and they were able to tip it out of bounds. I think there was a play before that with like about 30 seconds left for Tyrese Halliburton, got the rebound. And I don't know why he seemed like he wanted to run the offense so fast, like get down the court so fast. He should have just kind of like slowed it down a little bit.
Mhm.
But in that process, he ended up turning the ball over. He did that again in overtime when they were kind of going back and forth in the beginning portions of overtime, and then he turned the ball over, and that kind of derailed the whole overtime for them. And then that's when the Celtics kind of got the little 5-point lead, and then after that they just couldn't. They couldn't get back in the game. It's a big missed opportunity for them, especially still game one. I'm very curious to see how they respond in game two. Very curious to see how the Celtics also respond in game two. The last two series before that, they've been laying eggs in game twos. So I'm very curious to see how both of these teams come out. I think Pascal Siakam could have played a whole lot better. He started off pretty slow in the first half. He picked it up a little bit, but he was 0 for 2 for 3. I think overall the 3-point shot, they shot about 37%, 13 for 35. So obviously they can be better at that.
Right.
And then Al Horford, man. Al Horford, as I said, man, it seems like he's being father time right now. He's looking like a young Al Horford from the Hawks days. Drew Holiday had a big game with 28 points, 8 assists. Obviously, Jason Tatum, he hit some big shots in overtime, got 36 points. And obviously, Jaylen Brown hit the big three to tie the game up and to send it to overtime. So we'll see. Game two, man, it should be pretty good. I thought the Celtics were going to pretty much blow the Pacers out, but the Pacers held it in. That game was pretty excellent yesterday. So I'm very curious to see how it goes tomorrow for game two.
You think this game takes the air out of the Pacers for the game two?
I don't know. I think that's the big question going into tomorrow. I got to see how these guys respond. Obviously, they lost game one to the Knicks in a close game. It wasn't really a choke job like it was this past game, but it was still a close game where they could have potentially won that as well. So they were able to respond to that. So we'll see. It's going to be. I'm very curious to see how everything goes. As I said, the Celtics have been having problems at home in game two, and the Pacers do need to win this game. I don't think you want to go down 0-2 heading back to Indiana. You do have your home court, so. As they said, the series doesn't really start until a road team wins. So, we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
Okay, for sure. And let's talk about tonight's game, Western Conference Finals. Game one, Dallas ended up beating the Mavericks by 3, 108-105. This is a pretty good back and forth. I thought Minnesota came out pretty hot in the beginning, but Kyrie Irving was balling in that first half for sure. But Jaden McDaniels, he was hot all night. But in that first half, he was killing with them 3-point shots. Anthony Edwards was playing pretty good too. But I just think at the end of the day, the stars showed up. Luka, because he had a kind of a slow night, but he pulled it out in the fourth quarter and hit some key shots. And I think that was just the difference. The stars just showed up in Dallas when they needed to. So that's why we got this. But I think this is going to be a good series at the end of the day. I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota pulls it out in the next game, and this goes all the way to 7. So,
I think with this game one, this is what you need on the Maverick side. You need Luka, you need Kyrie to give you about 30 points apiece, and then hopefully like PJ and Jones and Gafford and Tim Hardaway can add in the extra points to help them be able to score. I was very surprised that the Dallas Mavericks out rebounded the Minnesota Timberwolves. I thought that would have been the advantage for the Timberwolves, but they out rebounded them by 8. As far as like total boards, they were able it was pretty close on the offensive boards, defensive rebounds, 37-30. So I was pretty shocked by that. And then I was also pretty shocked by Anthony Edwards' play. Maybe that last series with the Nuggets, just coming off of that game 7, he put a lot of energy into that. He is a young guy, so you would expect him to be able to bounce back. But maybe he just didn't have it tonight. He started off pretty slow. He ended up with 19 points, still had 11 rebounds and 8 assists. So he had a good overall game. It's just you would expect more on the scoring end. Same as Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns had a poor shooting game. He was 6 for 20. So you kind of expected to see him have a little bit more advantage. And then shout out to McDaniels, man. He played amazing. He kind of kept them in the ball game. But we'll see. I'm not gonna worry too much about the Timberwolves. I expect Anthony Edwards to have a bounce back game.
Mhm.
I still expect Kyrie and Luka to do great. Those guys can win any series. So we'll see, man. I'm excited, for game 4 and see how it goes. I expect Minnesota to win game 2 though.
Yeah, me too. I think Anthony Edwards, like I said, this team goes as he goes, and if
Yeah.
his energy isn't up and he ain't hitting shots in the beginning,
Hmm.
you know, there's 9 times out of 10 they tend to not win those games, and I've
Yeah.
seen, it's kind of a pattern, and especially in the Nuggets series that
Hmm.
he comes out a little slow and not really coming out with that energy that we know Anthony Edwards too. So I expect him to have that in game 2 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nikhil Alexander, he needs to play better too. I don't think he's
Mhm.
played really good the last 3 games.
Yeah.
So they also need help on the bench side as well. Nasri played pretty good today as well.
Yeah, for sure. Stop that. All right, man. Let's talk about Cardi B, man.
Yeah.
Now I know you posed this question. I'm sure you have something as far as Cardi B's absence.
Yeah, so obviously, a lot of people have been kind of clamoring for Cardi B to come out. She hasn't released the album, I think, in almost 7 years now.
Mm.
After her first album success, who did amazing numbers. Had a couple diamond songs on there. So I think she had like a heated exchange between somebody on Twitter or Instagram, and she, with all the, she had the I forgot what I think it was the Vanity. She came out on the Vanity or something like that, where it seemed like they were gearing up for started to do her album run. She even released a song. I think it did okay, but it didn't do as what most people expected. But
Hmm.
during that kind of heated back and forth, Cardi B kind of came out and said she's not going to release anything this year. So that kind of left people kind of not understanding what her next moves are, what the worries are for her not wanting to release. Obviously, we don't know what's going on in her personal life. She can be going through something personal, but for her to have this kind of success and then not put out anything in almost 7 years, it's kind of crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like, you can get lost in the sauce pretty fast. And then obviously with she has that kind of bitter rivalry between her and Nicki Minaj. The last album Nicki Minaj did, it was pretty successful. Her tours is selling out. So I don't know if maybe that put some pressure on her. So I'm just kind of, what are your thoughts about why you think Cardi B has not released? Do you think this will harm her as far as like her popularity, like her numbers, as far as her next album, stuff like that?
I mean, I mean, I gotta give her a little bit of props because for her not to have a second album and her to still be relevant in this climate, with how these females are coming in the game now with Lotto and Glorilla and you know
Rhapsody and all that.
Rhapsody, various other female artists that are out there that are hot right now,
Hmm.
and she's still relevant. People still want to do music with her, and I know one thing she is doing is she does her features that are pretty good, and she's still living off of that first album, man. I mean, you got singles that go diamond. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a nice little pretty penny right there. So
Hmm.
as far as her future goes, I mean, eventually she's gonna have to drop something, unless she just totally just walks away from the game. And I don't know her situation with Offset. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he has success with the Big O. So
Hmm.
uh I don't know. I don't know how she's set up. Like I said, I don't know her financial situation, but obviously it's pretty well because you don't hear her talking about being broke. You ain't gonna talk about her, her splits or nothing like that. Like obviously she's doing well for herself. So I don't know. I don't know if her heart's not into the music no more. Maybe like
I
I
think
don't
that'll be
know.
kind of hard to say because I think she just got a new deal. So she was claiming for a new deal. They gave her the new deal. They're gearing up, for her new album, and then all of a sudden you just want to say, no, you're not ready yet. Like,
Mhm,
it's been 6-7 years. So I don't
mhm,
know what you're waiting for. I don't know if you're still trying to find that one hit song where you can roll out this album too. But sooner or later, man, she's gonna have to drop, because her record label is expecting her to drop, especially with that new deal. She,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, they invested so much money into her, they're expecting to recoup that money back in some kind of capacity with these albums. So she needs to get to work, she needs to drop, like, and then all these, as you stated, man, with all the rest of these other female artists that are popping right now, she can get lost in the sauce. Like I get it, Cardi B is still a very popular name at this current moment in time, but is anybody really still clamoring for her music? Like, what's her next sound gonna be? What song are we
Because she
expecting? You know what I mean? Like,
and she, it's not like for a lack of not trying. Like she's put out singles.
they just ain't hitting. They just
it's
not
not
hitting.
hitting like those other ones, man. When
Yeah.
you have a kind of a female anthem like Bodak Yellow,
Hmm.
and then you have those other songs that she came out with.
Yeah.
You got WAP with her and Megan. Like
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
a classic hit for women too.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
so, it's kind of hard to kind of top those type of records. You know what I'm saying? When
Yeah.
not to say that she doesn't have the resources to go do that, but those type of records, like they come natural. Like when you try to manufacture those type of records, it sounds manufactured. It looks like it when you try to find a hit, it sounds like you're trying to find a hit when you do certain songs. Like when
Hmm.
something hits, it just hit like not like us. That just song you heard it instantly. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Once Kendrick started rapping and that beat hit, it was like, oh, this is a hit.
Absolutely.
Like he
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
him one right here. Like, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And he's, of course, dissing Drake. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, even without all the dissing Drake, you knew that was a hit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because in the first few words, he wasn't really saying nothing about Drake. He was just rapping. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you know a hit when you hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know the other day, Glorilla, because she's already doing, she got her a hit with the Yeah Glow.
Yeah. Glow. Yeah. Glow is popping. Yeah. Hmm.
She got another song I heard that I think is gonna be better than Yeah Glow. Like I
Yeah.
heard the beat and I was like, oh, this might be another one. She might have found another one. Like
Yeah.
Glorilla
Yeah.
looked like she went back into the drawing board
Hmm.
after F and N, and was like, I gotta retool. I gotta get my. They really artist development with Glorilla because her
No.
rapping
Yeah. Yeah.
has
Yeah. For
gotten
sure.
better. She's not as choppy with her flow. Like
Hmm.
you could tell that the confidence in her flow. Like she's out there, and then we all know what Lotto represents. Like she's doing her thing out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what Cardi B. Like I said, even though she got a new deal, that doesn't necessarily mean that our heart is still in the music. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Anybody's gonna take some money if they're gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but at the end of the day, if your heart is not into it, then it's gonna show. So it'll
Like,
be
I know
okay.
I know you're not the biggest Cardi B fan, but
No, but
do
I
but
pay
do you but
attention.
but do you think she can you do you expect her to be able to find a hit at all, or do you think it's gonna be tough for her?
No, I think she could find a hit because the one thing that she has working for her is she's bilingual. She do the Spanish, the Latin music
Mhm.
like she did. She got that one hit on that side. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like she's and she can rap. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and say the woman can't rap. She can definitely rap.
Mhm.
Is her music my like? Am I gonna go straight to the Apple Music and push play on her? No, but she got
Yeah.
some songs that I like. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
she definitely got talent. It's just, as far as the hits go, it's like that's difficult, man, because when you try to search for a hit, it's
Yeah.
hard, man, especially when you're trying to top your discography. Forget trying to top the other females. When you're
Mhm.
trying to top your discography, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah.
Because once you get one hit, getting one hit is hard enough. Is that
Mhm.
is the most difficult thing in the music business is trying to find a hit. But get one, two, and you just cracking them out, hitting them out the park, like, and then you got to top that one and top this one and top that one and top. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's difficult. So
Yeah.
I don't envy none of them none of the top artists, man, because they got to keep up with themselves.
No, I get it. But sooner or later I don't know if it's a fear-based thing. I don't know what it is, but sooner or later she's gonna have to drop, even if it's to kind of reset the expectations for her. Her first album has so much commercial success that I get it's gonna be hard to kind of to re-tap into that as far as on the success level, but
Mhm.
at the same time, you can't have 6-year gaps. You know what I'm
No,
saying? Especially in today's climate, you can't. Um, not even some of the more famous ones that kind of do that have like absentees like that. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
the most we see Kendrick will be like 3-4 years. Obviously, you have the likes of like like a Frank Ocean or something like that, where you might have to wait like 6-7 years or wait forever. Who
Mhm.
knows? Look at Lauryn Hill. She dropped one album, and then we about to get her next second album, from what I hear, 20
30.
years later, 20,
Yeah.
30 years later. So
Yeah.
if Cardi, so obviously, like it's not foreign, I guess, in a sense like that. But I think in the hip hop realm, I think you got to kind of stay a little bit more consistent in that
Yeah.
sense, because
Mhm.
just with the amount of young women that are out there that are killing the rap game right now.
Sexy
You know what I
Red.
mean?
Say what you want about Sexy Red, but she
Sexy
killing
Red,
killing it right
yeah, Megan, man, no matter how you feel about Megan,
now. Mhm.
Ice Spice, no matter how you feel about her, she's doing JT, some of these other up and coming artists as well, man. Like,
Mhm.
the rap game on the women's
Scarlet.
side, yeah, the rap game on the women's side, man, it's going, you know what I mean? And you're just getting more and more talented females out there. So,
Yeah.
I would say right now, um, she needs to find something to get her back in that limelight, especially with her rival doing great right now. So
And it took Nicki a minute to navigate through this new era too.
it
It took
did, it
her a
did,
minute.
it
It
did.
took
It
her a
took her a
minute.
minute, but
It took
she was able to find her groove back and
mhm.
stuff like that. Shout out to Cardi B, man. Hopefully she
Yeah.
drops some music. Like I fuck with her music. You know what I mean? So, hopefully she'll be able to come out soon. Hopefully she gets over that mental block and wanting to drop something, and having confidence within her album and the stuff
Mhm.
that she has created so far to drop it to the world, man. Just let people absorb it and go from there, man.
Yeah. I mean, when you see artists like, take for example, what's his name, Roddy Rich. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like his first album was so great, and then he
Hmm.
tried to drop something new, and it's like the
Yeah.
fans wasn't feeling it.
No,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
No, you see other artists like kind of like Lil Baby, man. I think Lil Baby's kind of like
same
in that
thing.
funk right now. Lil
He
Baby was
is.
kind of like in that trajectory where people
Mhm.
thought he was gonna be like, the next big thing in rap. Like he was gonna be
Mhm.
on the same status of Kendricks and the Drakes and
Mhm.
the J. Cole's. People expected him to be the South version of that.
Yeah.
But it just seems like with Lil Baby, man, I don't know. Like, I like Lil Baby, but the last couple projects he dropped, it has not been impressive to me.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I totally get it. I totally get it. But that didn't stop Lil Baby from dropping. You know what I mean? He put out shit, it just ain't hit. You know what I mean? Young
Mhm.
Roddy Ricch has put out shit. Like some of the songs hit, some of the shit didn't. It didn't have the same impact that the original albums that got all that commercial success um is gonna do. You know what I mean? I get that. Look at Jay-Z. Like, not all Jay-Z's albums hit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just think she just has to get over that mental hurdle and just drop something. That's all I'm saying. Drop some, have the confidence in it, promote it like you think this is the greatest shit in the world. And then people may gravitate toward that or may not. I think her fan base is just as strong as like a Nicki Minaj's. I think she has one of the stronger fan bases out there.
Mhm.
So they're going to support her. It's not like she's not going to get the support. It's not like she's not going to see the numbers that she expected. Maybe she may not get the numbers that her original album did, but
Mhm.
I could still see her getting like 120, 150,000, you know what I mean? As far as like sales, for her first week. So I don't think that would be a problem with how commercialized Cardi B is. People love her, man.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's talk about Kel Mitchell, man. He was
Yeah,
on club.
man.
He was
What's up
on
with your
club.
boy?
He was on club. He was on Club Shay Shay. Being real vulnerable, telling talking about his tough time,
Yeah.
life after all that, and the Kel and Keenan show, and
Hmm.
going through his marriage, how he was the foundation of that marriage was built on lies, and
Yeah.
his ex-wife was cheating on him, and he was he hit rock bottom to where he was contemplating committing suicide, jumping off a hotel room, and
Yeah.
it was really telling, you know what I'm saying? Because around that time we didn't know what happened to Cat. We just thought that him and Keenan just kind of went off and just wanted to live regular lives, and they had families and all that stuff. And eventually Keenan started hitting and being in movies. He was in the barbershop movies. He was doing other stuff. Now he's on SNL. He's doing other stuff now. um and it took a minute for Kel to come back, you know what I'm saying, in the limelight. He was doing stuff on Nickelodeon, he came trying to give back to the young people and do stuff on there. And
Mhm.
it was just a very interesting thing. And it just goes to telling, when you're in the entertainment business as a kid and you're trying to make that transition to being an adult, it is one of the hardest things. We've seen the history of it. We've seen people like Lil Bow Wow, like, he was the darling, you know what I'm saying, when he first came out, little kid coming out rapping. Oh man, he dope, you know what I'm saying, for 10,
Mhm.
12 year old. Then he gets to them teen years, and he's a heartthrob. Girls love him, all that stuff. Now he's a grown man, and it's kind of like that transition of trying to be that man, and people still looking at you like Lil Bow Wow. They try to drop. He tries to shed the Bow Wow image. I'm Shad Moss, and it's like, nah, man, you're always gonna be Bow Wow. Like, and then you see it in actors too, like just making that transition from being a teen actor to now I want to do adult roles. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
it's just a fine line between that, and it messes with it mess with your head. We've seen people, unfortunately commit suicide. We've seen actors and actresses and musicians, fall to substance abuse and all that stuff. So to bring it all back to Kel, it was just very interesting to hear some of the stuff that he was talking about and everything that he went through. So
So, question: would you have stuck with your lady?
I wouldn't, but I don't. But when I heard that, I didn't judge him for it.
No, I'm
I,
not saying you would, but
I didn't judge him for it because he was trying to make it work with his wife. I get it. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? When you're caught up in that thing, uh, sometimes you'll just overlook the
Hmm.
bullshit. Sometimes it's crazy to some of the stuff that you'll do for love, man. And when you think you're in love with somebody, you'll bypass some of the craziest shit, and the people on the outside looking at you like you're a sucker, you're a dumbass. But when you in it, you
Hmm.
don't look at it like that. You're looking at, this is my woman, I love her, and we gonna work through this. And it just, it's unfortunate it got to a point where I think he just got numb to it. I think he was just there. You could tell he was just there for the kids at the time. He was there
Hmm.
for his daughter, you know what I'm saying? And it was
Hmm.
just like he was numb to it, because even when he said he caught her with the dude at the hotel, he was just like, let's go to the hotel room, let's just go up
Hmm.
and just confront her. And he was just like, it was just like whatever. So yeah, on the outside, and I feel Shannon on his side. It's like, what, you stayed? Because I've been the friend to be like, man, you still with this girl? Like, she messing you over. Like, I've been there, so
Yeah.
I've been on both sides of the coin, man. Where you in it, and then when you're not in it, you know what I'm saying? So
No, I get it. I just think there's got to be a little bit of self respect in a
yeah,
situation like that. You know what I mean?
I
Where
agree.
when it's not just one, but it's two,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it
After the second time, I'm done.
yeah, yeah, I'm all for you being the bigger man, and you still want to take care of the kids and all that. Salute to him. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and judge him on that situation, but sooner or later, I say you got to have some kind of backbone in that type of situation, because that's just next tier level of disrespect. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Mhm.
But with the rest of the stuff with Kel, man, it just kind of shows you, man, a lot of people that we've watched when we've grown up, man, in a lot of these different sitcoms, and when they were kids and all that, man, just some of the things that they've gone through, man. Some of
Mhm.
the drama. Obviously, you have that whole Nickelodeon documentary, man, with that whole situation. With obviously, if you haven't watched it, like they had all that kind of drama where they had like all
Mhm.
the sexual assaults, and the meaning of the women, and young kids, and you know um some of the black actors that had to go through some of the racial things and racial profiles they had to go on set with. You know, Kel was a part of that. You know what I mean? As far as like the Nickelodeon days, so I can only imagine some of the other traumas that he may have experienced in his acting career. But it just, as I said, this just puts another big limelight on the Hollywood scene and how dark it can get for a lot of these actors that are in that spotlight. So you know, man, it just makes me really just want to, you know, thoughts and prayers to Kel Mitchell, man. You know, hopefully he found his peace. It seemed like he was in good spirits when he was talking to Shannon, but you know that can always be for show. So you know, prayers out to him, man. Prayers out to his family, man, and especially the rest of the people that had to deal with all that stuff over at Nickelodeon, man. For real.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from what I've seen from from afar, of course, it seems like he's in way better spirits than what he was, in that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like him and Keenan are back, connecting and doing their thing. And like he said, he had that 2 hour conversation with Keenan when they finally linked back up because one part, he said, "Oh, this person was saying this about coming back to me, telling me, oh, Keenan said this," and then same thing with Keenan, oh, Kel said this, and it's just like,
yeah, and they had their falling out too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
and it all boils down to if they just had a conversation to be like, "Hey, man, I heard somebody told me this," and all that conversation could have been, "Nah, I never said nothing like that," or if I did, I didn't mean it like it probably came to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they could have squashed whatever issues and whatever. And then it also goes back to not just being a superstar and being vulnerable, but being how we are taught as black men to bottle up our stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he felt like he couldn't talk to Keenan. He felt like he couldn't talk to nobody and tell what he was going through. When if he probably just had a conversation with somebody to get some of that, vent some of that stuff out, he might have went through his depression that he went through. You know what I'm saying? To where he thought about committing suicide. So, but happily he didn't go through with it, and he it seems like he's in a better place. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, man, let's talk about Angel Reese throwing shots. She recently got on Twitter, and she posted, "Get Nika her visa." Well, she got her visa. I think she played tonight. Charter flights are here. Give every team, this is where she kind of deviated, said, "Give every team the same publicity because it ain't just one team. Online bullying ain't it at all. And oh, Chicago Sky here on the rise." Now, the part where she said publicity because it ain't just one team, what do you think she was referring to?
It's clear as day. I think she's talking about the whole Caitlin Clark situation. I don't blame her for it. All right, look, we might as well combine the two conversations because this kind of goes into obviously the other topic I was kind of wanting to talk about as far as like with the LeBron comments about Bronny and Caitlin, and then obviously you saw this the comments that Charles Barkley made earlier today before the Minnesota game, and it's like this. I know y'all probably tired of me talking about Caitlin Clark. Y'all already know how I probably feel if you watch this podcast. So I'm gonna say this probably like one more time. It gets to a point with this situation with the media and them wanting to hype up Caitlin Clark. I'm not going to sit here and say that Caitlin Clark is a terrible player. I'm not going to say that. She put up the numbers that she did, respect to her. But my whole thing is that what Angel Reese is trying to say is Caitlin Clark is not the only reason why the WNBA is becoming more successful by the day. We are putting up more. There are more talented women in the game that there has ever been in today's game, and for women's basketball. That's back in the days from Cynthia Cooper and the Cheryl Swoops and the Lisa Leslie's and the Teresa Thompson days. Yeah, It's more than the Maya Moore days and all that. Like you have Angel Reese, you have Caitlin Clark, you have Asia Wilson, you have Jackie Young, you have Kelsey Plum. That's not including all the Diana Taurasi and all the ladies from the Connecticut Sun and the Seattle Storm who beat the Aces. Jewel Lloyd, who went off for almost 40 points against the Aces. Like, 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 and then you have certain people who are trying to say we need to cater to this woman because she's supposed to be bringing in all the dollars, she's bringing in all the eyes. They're pretty much saying she's the main reason why Angel Reese, Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, and the rest of these young ladies are going to make the money that they're making, which they already do, and that she's literally putting food in their mouth. That shit is fucking insane to me. Like no one ever used to say that about LeBron James. They just like, yo, he's the next great thing to come into the league. You know what I mean? They never disrespected the rest of the players that were already in the league or who established the league before that. When LeBron James came in, they never disrespected Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Bill Walton and the rest of those guys. They didn't disrespect Kobe Bryant, who was already in the league establishing, and Shaquille O'Neal. They didn't disrespect the other players that came in the draft who were just as talented as them, as like Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony. But y'all gonna sit here and tell me this chick right here is supposed to be the next great thing, like she's Jesus Christ? You're telling me that people shouldn't be petty or shouldn't be upset with the way y'all are dismissing the rest of the league like they ain't shit, like they're not being a part of something to make this league a better place and make this better for the women for now and for the future? I'm not saying Caitlin Clark isn't a part of that. I'm just saying she's a piece to that. Stop acting like she's the main thing and the only thing that is the reason why the WNBA is becoming more popular. As I said it before, I believe the Las Vegas Aces organization has been more transcendent into helping the women's game more than Caitlin Clark has. You know what I'm saying? The same shit that y'all tell me about Caitlin Clark is different because when Steph came in the league, I was hearing Steph ruin the league for the same exact shit that Caitlin Clark does. She does the same shit as far as bitching to the refs that Luka Doncic does, but I don't hear shit about that. I don't hear shit of when little shit, when players are trying to help her up and she's pushing their hands away, like, not, don't help me out. I don't hear shit when she's showing up 30 minutes late to a press conference and showing up the rest of her teammates. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, I get you want to promote this chick. That's cool. I get she's putting newer eyes on it because let's call it a spade. She's the great white hope for women's basketball. And I totally get that preference to that situation. But let's stop talking like she is the saving grace for these women and that they're just peons compared to her. Are you trying to tell me Asia Wilson ain't better than Caitlin Clark? Are you trying to tell me Jewel Lloyd ain't better than Caitlin Clark or Diana Taurasi or any of these other ladies? Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm just saying, just put more respect on the other women that are in the game who are doing better than her and who have established putting shit back in the communities and getting young women to be more involved in this. You know what I mean? That's not including all the coaches who played a big part in bigging up the game. What are we doing? Like, you don't think Dawn Staley has had a bigger impact on the game than Caitlin Clark? Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? It's cool if you want to big up the player because of her talent. That's cool. But when it's to the point where the media and everybody else is clearly disrespecting the rest of the league, like they ain't shit, like they're not helping the cause of that, I think it's wild. I think it's crazy. And then for other players to be like, yo, you should cater to this woman so she can have easy games, play hard, but don't play that hard so she can get her points so she can feed you. I think that's nuts. I think that's crazy and fucking lunatic for people to say that. And of all people, you doing that to her. LeBron James, you saying all this shit. Did you say this shit with Asia Wilson? Did you pick her up like this? That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, just put more respect on it. I'm not going to keep going on because y'all already know how I feel about this whole situation. I feel like I'm just repeating everything I say. So, but that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. I don't understand this. All these players, past players on these podcasts talking about we should roll the red carpet out for her, let her score, let her do this, let her do that. She's the saving grace. Like, yeah, she's part of the. She's a cog in the in the system, but she's not the main thing. Like, the game has been progressing. The game has been big. Like, the Aces were selling out last year without a mention of a Caitlin Clark.
And
So
moving into bigger stadiums before
yeah,
Caitlin Clark even came in the league.
so I get it. Y'all want to push her, and that's fine. But y'all, this whole notion, like I said, where these people want to like, oh yeah, I should let her score and let her do this and let her do that, and that's if anything, that's not only a disrespect and a slap in the face to the women in the league. That's a slap in the face to her. Like that's disrespectful to her because now you're saying that oh, y'all should let her score. Like, huh? Like she got here on her, on her
Her
own
own
merit.
accord, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What she did in Iowa, like she's a top tier player, coming out of Iowa. So
And let's
why?
let's call it a spade too. Like Caitlin Clark was big last year, but she wasn't that big. It wasn't like yeah, they'll put her on Sports Center, but it was nothing crazy. It didn't get really huge until that LSU game.
Mhm.
It really didn't. It really didn't. It was when it was Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark when Angel Reese did all that shit at the end of the game. And then that's when everybody, oh nah, you can't do that to that white girl. You know what I mean? You gotta have some class. You know what I mean? You can't, you shouldn't show up. Even though Caitlin Clark did that shit all tournament. You know what I mean? I believe ever since that game, that's when motherfuckers was like, yo, we bigger up, bigger up, bigger up. We want her to, kind of like be the face of the WNBA and all that type of shit. When we all know real facts, Angel Reese was the main cog and why the following year it got so much more attention. Angel Reese was just as big as Caitlin Clark for the attention. Like, do we not forget? Do we not forget the whole case? Like, yeah, people were watching Caitlin Clark, but not to this extent until the Angel Reese thing happened. You know what I mean? And then it just got bigger from there. Like the way people think Caitlin Clark is going to be in the league and the way she's going to dominate in the league. Yeah, Caitlin Clark is going to be that type of player where she's going to get her points. She's going to get her 20 points. I think the efficiency is going to be up and down just like she was at college. Her efficiency was not that great. She's going to get her points. She's going to get her 20 points. She'll have her occasional 40-point games because she's going to hit threes. She's going to jack up her 30-foot shots. She's going to get cooked on the defensive side every time. But the player you want to watch that's gonna be the next great thing, we all know the name of that player, and she ain't in the WNBA yet. Her name is fucking Juju Watkins. That's gonna be the chick that's gonna literally be like, oh, that's the future of the WNBA. You know what I mean? Like when you watch her play, it's night and day. She has the body. It's like, bro, what's she like? 6'3"?
6'2".
6'2"?
Mm-hmm.
Like she gonna be what Maya Moore should have been if she never left the league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, respect to Caitlin. I'm not saying she's the trash player. I'm not saying that shit at all. But let's calm down with the bullshit that is being talked to. Like it's getting out of hand of just how one-sided this conversation is going, especially in the national media. And I haven't seen so many people say some of the most outrageous things in my life of talk about catering to this one player I've ever seen. I've never heard this in my life. Why are we starting this now? You know what I mean? And it's just wild to me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop talking about it. I promise y'all. I'm gonna stop bringing up Caitlin Clark. I promise y'all. I know y'all tired of hearing this shit.
All right, man. Let's do our better short five picks.
I'll let you go first.
No, you gotta go first because I ain't.
All right. So I'm gonna go tomorrow. I'm gonna go with Pacers +9. Again, I don't know if they're gonna win this game, but I do believe they will keep this close. Like I did, I think I got it right on Monday. So I'm gonna take them +9. I'm gonna take the Dallas Stars. Obviously, the Western Conference hockey playoffs they start tomorrow. I'm gonna take them on the money line. They're at home, and then I'm gonna take the Yankees money line. I haven't done too many baseball bets, so I'm gonna take the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Boston Celtics on the money line. I'm also, I'll take the Yankees too. Um, and take I will take the Colorado Rockies over the Athletics.
Sounds good. Shout out to Badass, man.
Yeah, shout out. If you go to our Twitter or our YouTube page, you'll see the link for the BetUs app, the website. Click on it. First time users only. Uh, Sign up. Minimum $100 deposit.
Hmm.
Put in the promo code join 125. You get 125% sign in bonus towards your bets. That's like 3 risk-free bets and 10% gambling insurance. So go ahead and sign up for BetUs and go win you some money, y'all.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, man. Who has the worst sports team? Athletes or
Ugh. Shit. Honestly, some sports media personalities have terrible ass takes, like Colin Cowherd and some other guys. But as far as like athletes and rappers, that's a good question. I'm gonna say athletes, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just think there's a certain arrogance level with athletes, and I get it. You played the game, you've been in it, but I don't know. It's just something about an arrogance, especially maybe within themselves or them just being a part of the game where they say some crazy. Uh, I like Jeff T. He said some wild shit. Paul Pierce has said some wild shit. Kendrick Perkins has said some wild shit. Charles Barkley has said some wild shit. Um, we can go on and on. I just think with the rappers, they're on the outside looking in. So
rappers?
I feel like sometimes like maybe they don't word it correctly in a sense. Like they don't use the terminology that needs to be used. Not saying they're dumb or anything. It's just like, they're just doing basic talk with the conversation.
Mm,
And they're not used to talking sports like that all the time, especially in a TV setting. But with some of these athletes, bro, like they say some of the craziest shit I've heard, and some of the shit sounds either like they take things too personal, or they be too sensitive with certain topics, or it's an ego thing with some certain situations. So I'm gonna go with the athletes on that question.
yeah, I agree, man. I just think they're too close to the game,
Yeah,
regardless of what game that they played. Like if you ask them a question, they're too close to the situation. They show their biasness towards certain
100%.
players or
Yeah,
teams, or you know, if they play with said team, like Ocho Cinco with the Bengals, or TJ Houshmandzadeh, or somebody, whoever you watch, you'll see their biasness through on TV, and it just they don't know how to
Pat
not be
Bev,
unbiased. Huh?
Draymond Green, Pat Bev.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They just show their biasnesses towards certain players and certain teams or whatever. And even sports media people, what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They have their biases too.
absolutely.
But yeah, definitely. Whereas in rappers, we really don't be like coming to them like, oh, they're just they're they're us, but they just
Yeah,
got money.
yeah,
What
that's
I'm
it.
saying?
And it's just like I don't think they like I'm gonna be honest. Like sometimes like the conversation with me is like some of these athletes believe that people like you and me and maybe rappers and other people shouldn't talk about sports because we never played this shit on a professional level. And it's like, okay, yeah, we may not know the professional day-to-days of it. We may not know what your body goes through, the mentals of it in a sense, of your day-to-day and getting ready for the games and physically getting ready for the games and stuff like that. But from the outside looking in, like I don't think it's hard to understand the X's and O's if you're very educated on the game. It's hard to understand when a player doesn't play good or it's a bad coaching decision. Football, basketball, all that. You know what I mean? If you pay attention to the sport, if you love the sport and you take the time to educate yourself on it, I think anybody could talk about it. You know what I mean? As long as you just have real conversations about the game. You know what I mean? But when players start saying shit like that, I think that's a big turnoff for me personally. Because it's like, man, like fans aren't stupid. Stop acting like fans are dumb. Like that shit's not the case. I just think that a lot of you players are fucking overly sensitive, and you guys just don't want to hear what you guys don't want to hear at that particular time. You know what I mean? And then like 20 years later, you guys admit that yeah, you guys were right the whole time.
That and then it don't make that point doesn't make sense because then you get coached by a coach who never played the game.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like 99% of the coaches that in the league didn't play in the game. Like there's some that
and they're some of the best coaches ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if they did, most of them are bench riders. Like some didn't even get minutes. Like you know what I'm saying? So
but we've all played the game. We just didn't play it on a professional level. I played shit in high school, and I'm sure you did as well. You know what I mean? Like it's a kid's game for a reason. Like, yeah, we can get into the intricacies of it, like calling plays, all that type of shit. But to me, that's like if you take your time to understand it, it's not hard to learn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just physically maybe can't do it like you guys do it. You know what I mean? That's the only difference of it. But the mind works the same way. You know what I mean? Like, I just
some people could retain information faster than others. You know
Absolutely,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, if you're on the football field and you're a quarterback, some quarterbacks know how to read defenses like that. They can understand, the safety's doing this, and then some guys, it looks like the Matrix out there to them. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I'm with you on that. It's definitely the athletes. They're too close to the game, man.
True.
All right, man. Let's talk about this terrible Apple Music top 100 list.
Yeah, man.
I
got the list right here, but I know you're gonna pull it up.
I'm gonna pull it up because we're gonna go through this thing. Yeah. All right, man. How you want to do? You want to go through all one?
Yeah, just go through. Like we'll go, and then when we need to stop, we'll stop.
So,
body talk about Robin.
I don't even know who Robin is. Who's Robin?
I don't know, but shout out to them. The Eagles.
Hotel California.
Okay, good album.
Asteroid, Travis Scott.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
I'm not mad at it. I would assume a lot of people would probably say Asteroid is probably his best album. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not gonna mad at it. I let it rock.
Mind you, they never put out really the criteria of this list. So
no, they didn't. No.
You got Rage Against the Machine.
Respect the Rage.
Yeah. Pure Heroin.
Lord, yeah. You know about her. Now, stop. This is crazy. Usher's Confessions at 95 is fucking insane. What are we doing? That's at least, I get it. This is the totality of music. Top 100 albums. There's been hundreds of thousands of albums, millions of albums that have been released since the test of time. But let's not state the fact that Usher's Confessions is damn near perfect. It's damn near perfect, dog. And this is 95. Respect to Solange that's coming up. But we all can say Usher's Confessions is better than Solange. And I like that Solange album. I like Tyler Creator's Flower Boy, but let's be honest, it's not better than fucking Confessions, dog. I like Tyler Creator, I really do, and I do believe Tyler Creator's Flower Boy deserves to be in the top 100. I do. I think that album is amazing. I believe Igor. I low-key like Igor more than Flower Boy, but that's just me. But at the end of the day, Usher's Confessions at 95. What are we doing? Ebro, what are you doing, Ebro?
Ebro wildin', man.
Come on, man. I know you got some say, bro. Like the head of Apple.
Yeah, man. Terrible.
Apple Music. That's just
my bad.
Nah, you know, keep going. Yeah.
Untrue Burial.
I don't know them, but I say Usher's Confessions is bigger than that, but not.
We just seat at the table. Solange was a good
beautiful album. Beautiful album. It's not better than Usher's Confessions. Sorry.
Like you said, Flower Boy, Tyler Creator.
Great album. Not better than Usher's Confessions.
George Michael, Listen Without Prejudice, Volume 1.
Never listened to this album. I know who George Michael is. Sure, it's a great album, but Usher's Confessions or George Michael? What are we doing?
Back in Black, AC/DC.
Okay.
I know they're a top tier, group in that genre. Lady Gaga, The Fame Monster.
Good album. Lady Gaga, man, she has a good voice, man. I like her voice.
Nina
Nina
Simone.
Simone.
I
Yep.
put a spell on you. Okay.
I'm
I
not
mean,
mad at that. Put some
not mad at
respect.
Massive Attack, Blue Lines.
Never listened to that.
Me neither. Mary J. Blige, My Life.
Great album. Great
Great
album. But what would you have Mary J. Blige's My Life ahead of Usher's Confessions?
No.
I would not either.
Golden Hour, Casey Musgraves.
Shout out
Never
to her.
heard of
I have not listened to that.
Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style.
This is a great album.
See, even the dog is mad.
Yeah, this is a great album. Obviously, Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. This
is a classic. Bro.
Classic album. Would you have Doggy Styles behind Get Rich or Die Trying?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't have it, Get Rich.
And I love Get Rich or Die Trying. I think it's a classic album, but Doggy Style represented something that was a culture shift right there. Like it went from NWA to the Chronic to this album.
Nah, yeah. I love Doggy Style. I probably would etch out Get Rich or Die Trying. Like that would to me. I wouldn't be mad at either decision. I really wouldn't, because they're only like a couple spots away from each other. Because Get Rich or Die Trying obviously is going to come up here pretty soon. Right. But yeah, I just would. I love that Get Rich or Die Trying album, man.
I hear you. It was a staple in the early 2000s, and it was 50s coming out party. It was probably one of the greatest albums. But you could say the same thing for Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. 100%. Like it was one of the greatest debuted albums of all time, especially in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like I said, it's more of a preference thing when it comes to this. When you're talking about Doggy Style, you know, you're splitting hairs. It's apples to oranges type deal. Like whatever your preference. Like I said, I like Get Rich or Die Trying. But
yeah, I love both albums, so I would be mad either.
Horses, Patti Smith.
Okay.
I don't know who that is. I Get Rich or Die Trying. 50 Cent. After the Gold Rush, Neil Young. I know who Neil Young is, but I've heard this album. The Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem.
You're the Eminem guy. So are you surprised this isn't higher, or you think this is like where it should be?
I'm surprised it's not higher.
Where would you expect this to be?
At least in the top 50. Like, this is one of his best albums.
Yeah.
I mean, his first 3 albums, to me, I know you're not the big Eminem guy, but his first 3 albums were his greatest works. You know what I'm saying? Like, after that, it was kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
But this album right here, because the first album was just like, you know, his lyrical miracle shit. He was just rapping. This was his album where he was getting personal, talking about his life. You know what I'm saying? And you heard you knew a little bit more about Marshall Mathers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not, you know, it should be on the list, but I think it should be higher. That's just my opinion. Norman Efren Rockwell.
Lana Del Rey.
I know who Lana Del Rey is, but I don't know her music.
I haven't listened to that one.
Golden Yellow Brick Road. I'm surprised this isn't higher.
Yeah, low key. Like, you know, John, man.
Yeah, I'm surprised that ain't higher.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
But that's, you know, that's just me. Same thing with this. Madonna.
Like a Prayer. Yeah.
At 77? I don't know, yo. I'm surprised this ain't higher.
No, for real.
Bad Bunny. I'm surprised he ain't higher.
I think this is probably right for Bad Bunny,
no,
man. I think it's probably right for him. At least he's in the top 100.
This was a good album.
I was surprised this made it into the top 100. I think it's amazing. Like, shout out to Missy.
But I thought her second album was better than this.
Which one?
The one album with She's a Bitch.
Oh, yeah.
That one. I thought that album was better than this one.
I feel you. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to her. I was surprised Missy only made the top 100. But yeah, shout out to Missy, man.
9 Inch Nails. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Stanley Dan, never heard of him. SZA, that's surprising. That is surprising.
I probably would have had her first album more so. I love SOS, but I think her first album to me is a classic to me. She wasn't really too happy at being at 72. She believed that it should have been lower from her tweet, but
Baby, just be happy you on the list.
uh, are you trying to say SZA shouldn't be on the list? Period.
I think there's probably some artists that probably could have been over her.
Mm, mm.
That's just me.
Would you like to care to say which ones?
No, because I don't feel like think I didn't dive deep into it. I just
well, at the end, I could give you some names that didn't make this list, but we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Trans Europe Express, Kraftwerk. I heard of Kraftwerk, but I don't know the music like that.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that, but shout out to them.
Straight Outta Compton, NWA. I think this album should have been higher. But that's just me because of the cultural impact that this album had on the hip hop culture and music. Period. Because it wasn't just black folks that like this album. White boys love this album like a motherfucker.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I'm still trying to hold on to my perspective that obviously there is a lot of other genres besides hip hop, and I get it. I don't want to make it seem like this is just us wanting more hip hop albums at the top because that's just what we love. I honestly think that period. I wouldn't be. I wish this was probably closer to the 50s, me personally. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be too upset. It's still in the top 100, so at least it's in the top 100.
Yeah. Metallica,
Master of Puppets. Okay. I get it.
Yeah. Strokes.
I get it.
Yeah. Portishead. I've heard of Portishead.
Never heard of them, but respect to them.
No, I've heard of Portishead. The Smiths.
I've heard of them. Queen is Dead. Shout out to them.
De La Soul. This was surprising, but I do like this album. But I was surprised.
I like De La Soul. Do you think they overhyped this shit too much?
What you mean?
I don't want to get disrespectful and overhyped. I don't want to say overhyped. Just higher regard, like compared to other albums. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
And I love this album. Don't get twisted. I'm not trying to disrespect.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from when you say that. Mm-hmm. I do understand what you're saying. But they were a new sound at the time. They were kind of ahead of their time too.
You think this should have been in the top 100?
I don't know if it should have been in the top 100. Like I said, I'll go back to there's probably some albums, not just in the rap, just all over. That's probably better than this album.
Usher's Confessions or De La Soul's 3 Feet High Rap.
It's Confessions.
It's Confessions, man. What we doing?
Erykah Baduizm. I'm not.
This should have been higher for me, dog.
I agree.
I love this fucking album, bro.
I agree
because I feel like
she was. This goes back to culture. This goes back to impact in the music business. No, she was the forefront of that neo soul sound.
She was.
Her and Jill Scott were at the forefront of that neo soul sound.
She did, and Erykah Badu did it to perfection. This album is damn near perfect as well. Mm-hmm. This is a ultra classic. I love Erykah Badu's music. Beautiful soul, beautiful mind. Hell, I would have been. If I dated Erykah Badu, I'll be playing the flute in the goddamn airport my goddamn self too. Like that's just the reality of it, man. I think this album needed more respect, dog. 64 is kind of crazy to me. This should this album to me should be in the 20s, bro. For real. I agree.
You have Jimi Hendrix Experience. I'm surprised this ain't higher.
Yeah, I'm surprised that ain't higher as well.
Hendrix
Jimmy, man, come on, man.
Highly regarded. So Tupac, All Eyes on Me.
Shout out to Pac. I'm not mad at it being in the 60s. Yeah. I'm not mad.
Yeah. Sade, Love Deluxe.
I'm not mad. Sade, Love Deluxe, amazing album, beautiful voice. I'm not mad at it in the 60s.
Velvet Underground and Nico, never heard of them, but okay.
Shout out to them.
And Arctic Monkeys. I remember Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah. I do.
Oasis, okay.
Shout out to them.
D'Angelo Voodoo, that was his best album.
I'm actually
Actually, you know
I
what?
would
I
still
actually
have.
like. I think his first one was better than this.
I like the voodoo. I like his first one too. Again, I love D'Angelo's Fire, but Usher's Confessions is better than this. I'm
It
sorry,
is.
it
It
is.
is. It
It
is.
is.
Never heard of
Cure.
them.
Never heard of the Cure, but shout out to them.
Rihanna anti.
Um, I, I would probably have this maybe a little bit lower. I love Rihanna, but I might have this a little bit lower. But shout out to her. No disrespect.
So Supreme John
John
Coltrane.
Coltrane.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's higher actually.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling
Rolling
Stones. I'm surprised
Stones.
the Rolling Stones ain't higher. Wow.
No, for real, for real. A lot of these, and the one thing you see is a lot of these artists who you think should have maybe two in this. There's not too many that has double two albums in the top 100, which that's another conversation we can have at the end. Because I think it's kind of crazy.
Guns N' Roses.
I'm surprised this album is not higher. I'm surprised. Guns N' Roses, man, that's an all time classic.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm surprised Prince is in the 50s, dog. I would expect this to be like closer to the 20s, low teens, you know. But
Kate Bush.
shout out to Kate Bush.
U2.
I'm surprised U2 ain't higher.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, but shout out to them.
Beastie Boys. I don't know about
I think that's. I don't think it should be this high, but
either.
I don't think it should be that high. Me personally, I think that if real talk, the Beastie Boys win, I think that should be closer to the 80s, maybe 90s for me. But that's just me. Yeah. Shout out to them though.
47, Mr. Drizzy. Take Care.
All right, here's the thing with Take Care. I like Take Care. This is not my favorite album. I know a lot of people have Take Care as their favorite album. It's not mine. My favorite album is one that isn't a lot of other people's. Mine is Views. Views to me is my favorite album, or What It's Time to Be Alive. Those are my two favorite ones.
My favorite album by him is Nothing Was the Same.
Nothing Was the Same. I just think Take Care should be a little bit lower, man. I like Take Care, I really do, but I would probably have this like in 50s. I'll probably have that in like the later 50s. That's me. Because I would definitely put the Guns N' Roses over that.
Yeah.
I would.
Bob Marley and the Wailers. Surprised Bob ain't higher.
I think that's about right. Bjork. I've heard of Bjork. I haven't listened to the album, but I've heard of it.
She was cool in the 90s, late 2000, early 2000, but whatever. Stevie Wonder, Intervisions.
Shout out to Stevie.
Mm-hmm.
We know you can see.
Talking Heads.
Never heard of him. That album cover is kind of crazy, but
Control, Janet Jackson.
I'm surprised that ain't a little bit higher. I thought that would be a little bit higher. That album was nice. Good album.
Quiminar, I'm not mad at this.
I'm not mad. Personal reasons, I would have this higher, but that's just me. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Shout out to Outkast, man. Great album.
Great album. Aretha Franklin.
Shout out to Aretha.
Man. Illmatic.
I'm not mad at it. Yeah.
Carole King.
Never listened to her, but shout out to her.
Wu-Tang Into the 36 Chambers.
I'm cool with this right there.
Yeah.
I'm cool with
Beyonce.
Is this Beyonce's best album?
What is her best album to you? A person?
Let me see. Let me look at her discography real quick. I don't know. I don't really listen to Beyonce crazy like that.
But... Me too. Me neither. Like I listen to the singles. I don't really listen to.
Let me see.
Like I don't know her discography like that.
Lemonade was pretty fire. What's on the Beyonce album? Oh, they had like Drunken Love on there. EXO. Oh yeah, I guess I could see that. Or you had Dangerous in Love.
Maybe Dangerous in Love. Crazy in Love. Naughty Girl. Baby Boy. Hip Hop Star. Me, Myself, and I. Sign. Speechless. That's How You Like It.
I'll probably say my favorite aesthetically is probably Lemonade for me. That's just me. I love that sound that she did with that one. But
I am Sasha.
um, I'm not mad at it.
I am Sasha Fierce. Pretty up there. What's on this Beyonce album? Drunken Love, Love, No Angel, Jealous,
They have a lot of
Rocky.
great songs on that Beyonce album, so I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand why it's on here.
The Clash. I've heard of The Clash. Public Enemy. Okay. I'm mad at it. Radiohead. Okay. Ready to Die. That's my favorite Biggie album.
Mm-hmm. I'm mad at it.
Alanis Morissette. Yeah.
Y'all know Alanis.
Billy.
Billie Eilish.
I don't know about that one.
I haven't listened to this album. I do not know. Am I surprised that she's up this high? Maybe. But at the end of the day, I think she's one of the more popular ones. I think she's kind. I don't want to say she's on the same tier as like a Taylor Swift, but her fans are.
Oh, they love her.
Shout out to Billy, man.
The Low End Theory, Tribe Called Quest, great album.
Great album. I would love to see that higher. Pink Floyd's album. I'm surprised this ain't higher. Dark Side of the Moon. I'm surprised this is not higher. That was a great album. His album was fire.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted.
This should be higher, dog. I'm sorry. This was a perfection of hip hop right here in the album, bro. This is one of the best albums of all time, bro. I'm surprised this is not top 10, bro. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was just, bro. Come on.
No, it was a great album. Yeah, it was a great album. Now, I'm not a big Kanye. I'm not a big Kanye guy.
That shit was great, bro. And the way he dropped it with the fucking all the music videos, like that led up the Good Fridays. That was like all the Good Fridays, and I'm like, come on, man, what are we talking about? Miles Davis. Yeah. Shout out to Miles Davis.
David Bowie.
Yeah, we know David Bowie.
Daft
Punk. I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it there.
Bruce Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
The Beatles.
I'm surprised this ain't hard. I thought this would have made it in the top 10s.
But I think, do they got another album in the top?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
The Beach Boys. Dr. Dre Chronic. Okay, I'm not mad at that.
No.
Taylor Swift, 1989.
You know, we're gonna see some Taylor.
Yeah. Marvin Gaye, 17.
What's going on? You think this should be higher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Blue.
Adele.
21. That was a great album. I'm not mad at it being a 15.
Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
The Blueprint.
This was even his best album. It was fucking Reasonable Doubt.
But a lot of people think,
bro, Reasonable Doubt should be on this fucking list.
I agree.
Blueprint should be on the list too. I'm not saying Blueprint should be on the list, but if you're gonna put something at 13, it should be fucking Reasonable Doubt. That shit was better than Blueprint. I'm sorry. Blueprint should be like in the 30s or 40s or something. That should be where like Enter the Woo is.
I actually like the Black Album more than Blueprint. That's just me. Radiohead. Fleetwood Mac. Lemonade. So she got two.
There you go. There go my Lemonade. she was one of the few with the two albums.
Nirvana. Nevermind. Amy Winehouse at number 8.
Not mad at that.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Not mad at that. Shout out to Kendrick.
Stevie Wonder, Songs in Key of Life.
Another one for Stevie.
Frank Ocean, Blonde.
Okay. Where the fuck is Channel Orange? Where the fuck is Channel Orange, dog? I love Blonde, but Channel Orange, bro, if you're going to have Blonde at 5, Channel Orange needs to be like 4. What are we doing? That's crazy.
Number 4, Purple Rain. Not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that, no.
Number 3, The Beatles. Yeah, see.
That Beatles. Yeah, there you go.
Number 2, Michael Jackson, Thriller. I think it should be number 1, but that's just me.
I agree.
And The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
All right. Well, you already kind of answered it. Obviously, you don't think Miseducation of Lauryn Hill should be number 1.
I'm not mad if this was in the top 10 to 15 because this was a great album. I'm not
It
even
was.
discounting it, but I don't think it's number one.
I would have Erykah Badu's album over this album. I
I'm not
would.
mad at that.
I would have.
I have
I love Miseducation of Lauryn
I
Hill.
have Confessions over this album.
I would have Confessions over this album too. Thriller should be number one.
I think
Thriller should be number one.
I wouldn't have been mad if it was Thriller and Purple Rain number two.
I wouldn't have been mad at that either. I'm surprised To Pimp a Butterfly is not in the top 100. I'm not saying
I am surprised that that's not in there either. But a lot of people sonically didn't. You know, it was a mixed bag.
Butterfly was fire, dog.
I thought it was fire too. I thought it was a great album. I actually loved the fact that he deviated and went in a whole new direction. Like everybody wanted a Good Kid, Mad City Part 2, and he went a whole nother route on y'all ass.
So, and then let me get this straight. There was no Mariah Carey album.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No Isley Brothers album.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. No Whitney Houston album.
Oh, yeah. What are y'all doing?
No Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nope.
And then, my God, no Luther Vandross, my nigga? No Luther? Are we serious? No Luther?
If somebody didn't have a case and he wasn't in prison, he should have.
Let's be honest. All right, you want to have a real conversation? Let's have a real conversation. R. Kelly would be top 3, maybe even 1. He would compete for 1.
Yeah.
12 play, yeah. Dog. Come on, man. Come on. All right, look. Fuck all the other shit that he did. We know he's fucking disgusting. We know this. But 12 play, dog. Even Chocolate Factory, bro. He would probably have 2 to 3 albums in the top 30.
Yeah.
He really would, man. Yeah. But come on, man. Why are the Isley Brothers not on here, bro? And then
Temptations. There's not one Temptation album.
No Temptation.
What?
No Temptation. No Barry White. I ain't see no Barry White shit on this motherfucker. J. Cole didn't make it. I'm surprised J. Cole didn't make it.
Jodeci ain't got an album on his mind.
And then, my God, where the fuck is Kaleidoscope? Where's Kaleidoscope Dream Miguel? Where's Miguel at, my guy? Come on, dog. Really? I would have that shit over the fucking Beastie Boys. What are we talking about, dog? Come on, man. This list is insane. Ebro. What are we doing? I get it. You're trying to involve all genres. And I get it. There's a lot of out. And then I don't even think I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Where the fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers at?
Nope.
Californication, my nigga? What are we doing? Come on, man. I'm also surprised I didn't see no fucking Marilyn Manson. I get it. Motherfucker was weird and shit, but he had some good albums that a lot of people fucked with. You know what I mean?
That dude had a.
Where was Korn at? I didn't even see Korn. Where was Korn?
Korn, yeah, true.
We can get into the rock shit.
Stone Temple Pilots.
None of that. No Boys to Men. I ain't see no Boys to Men.
You know what? I'm surprised. And I don't even listen to country. No Garth Brooks, no Randy Travis, no
nothing.
None of them.
Was there even a country album in this motherfucker?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, none of them.
No Reba McEntire, no nothing.
Dolly Parton,
maybe Taylor Swift was their country. I don't know.
I guess, but
it's just there was not a lot of jazz. I'm surprised there was no Kenny G on this motherfucker.
I mean, they had Coltrane and Miles Davis.
I get it. But
no Anita Baker, man.
Nah.
Let me stop.
The same people that made this list must have been the ones going to that fucking concert in Atlanta. They probably pissed nah.
See, y'all spoke too soon. She got a leg problem because she was on stage a few days ago limping.
And it's just I still don't get why Channel Orange is not on this fucking list. I love Blonde, but I don't think Blonde is better than Channel Orange. I just do not. I really don't.
That's crazy.
No Chris Brown? No Chris Brown? Chris Breezy ain't got one top 100 album? What? Are we kidding me? I'm surprised Jay-Z don't have more than one album on this list. I'm not surprised about Beyonce.
I think he can have at least 2.
I'm surprised Kanye don't have more than one album on this list. You could have put College Dropout. You could have put fucking late registration.
Mhm.
Like, I'm surprised. I get it. You're not a Watch the Throne fan, but I'm surprised that wasn't on there. Um, what else?
I honestly, I get why all eyes on me was on there because what it impacted, but I thought Me Against the World was the
No
better
Cube
project.
album? No, just solo Cube
Exactly,
album?
exactly. The Predator. Come on,
Man, let's not talk about the South. Like, I low key think Scarface should have made the motherfucking top
the
100, dog.
fix. The
You
fix
know
was a
what I mean?
classic.
Come on, man. No Scarface, dog. I get it. This is not all hip
Hip
hop.
hop,
Like
but come
we
on now.
stated rock albums that weren't on there. We stated country music albums that weren't on there. Like, no Whitney Houston? No Whitney?
Yeah,
She had the
yeah,
greatest voice of fucking all time. How is she?
yeah,
How does she not have? You could just did the Bodyguard soundtrack or some shit. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. This was crazy. But hey, shout out to Lauren Hill, man. She got number one.
No. Shout out to Lauren Hill. She's been able to live off this, mid education. Lauren Hill. She did say that the second album should be coming soon. So I'm sure we're all excited to hear new music from her. So shout out to Miss Education. We're not trying to shit on her moment for sure,
Mm-mm.
but we just all believe that
I just
there,
think
there should have been more.
Mike Prince, and a few other people probably should have been over her.
Should have, but and then a lot of people honestly should have 2 albums in this top 100. There's
Mike could have had about
Mike could have had 2, Jay could have
off
had
the
2,
wall,
Frank could
off
have had
the
2,
wall, black and white. Like, come on, man.
Kendrick could have had 2. We can get the Beastie Boys the fuck out of here, bro. Like, get them the fuck out of here, bro.
Why is we not one LL Cool J album?
Nah, that's crazy. Not
No,
one LL.
but the
Not
Beast
one.
Boys is on there.
Not one LL, dog. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. And it's no disrespect to them, but like,
They're not. But they're not. They don't have an. You can't sell me that Beastie Boys have an album better than LL Cool J.
no DMX.
Exactly.
No DM. Come
Dark
on,
and
man.
Hell and Hot should be on this
That
list.
should be top 100, my nigga. What are we talking about, dog? That shit is nuts, dog. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, come on, man. I get it. I do. But come on, man. This shit is crazy to me. Like, this list could have been way better. But shout out to everybody who did make the list.
Yeah,
If I have listened to or haven't listened to you, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all put out some great music to even be considered on the top 100 list. And no matter where your album at in top 100, you're top 100 of like a lot of fucking albums. So wherever you're at, I don't think it's
look when y'all put these lists together, especially when you got to do a wide range. It's not just hip hop or R&B, whatever.
It's hard.
You're doing everything, and I'm pretty sure it's just not. I know everybody wants to dump on Ebro, but he's probably in a room full of other people.
Absolutely,
that, have to have their opinion. He's got to compromise. He's got to conform. Whatever.
See, this is something I would love to see with them. I wish they would have did like a documentary just to see the back end of what they did to how they got to this top 100. I love seeing shit like that, like the discussions behind it. I hope they do drop something like that. I think that would be amazing. If that shit was 10 hours, I'll watch all 10 hours because I'm very intrigued on how they were able to create and coordinate this top 100 list. Like, what were the reasons of Miss Education Lauryn Hill being over Prince, being over Mike's Thriller? Why the Beastie Boys was in there and not DMX and all these other artists like Steve, like Luther Vandross and all that.
Temptations in there.
Temptations and you know what I mean? Like, there's so many other artists and so many other albums that had such bigger impacts than the fucking. All right, I'm not gonna shit on the Beastie Boys, but you know what I mean, dog. Like, I hope they film that whole shit and they're gonna release it in some kind of capacity.
I doubt it. There's your list. Just like all the other publications that come out with their list, they don't have no criteria. They don't tell you how they come up with their stuff. They just bring out their list and then they go back into their cubbyhole.
But honestly, there's a good thing about this. this just makes me want to re-listen to a lot of these albums, though, man. Honestly, man, it's a lot of great music out there for sure, man.
Yeah.
Let's bring back a lot of memories.
All right, man. Let's talk about Netflix. 50 Cent doing the Puff, the P Diddy documentary, sells the P Diddy documentary to Netflix. King Petty is back, like always. I don't even know what to expect from this documentary. I don't know if he's willing to go talk to some of the victims, some of the people. Like, what's your expectations from this documentary?
Filth. I think 50 gonna shit on Diddy hella hard on this fucking doc. I'm very curious to see what's on this documentary. I'm curious to see how long this documentary is, how many parts of it is, how much inside information that will be seen by the time it comes out. Who knows what else might have dropped in national media coverage and all that. I would assume that this is something that will be getting dropped sometime this year. I just don't know how soon it would get dropped. But I'm not holding no punches with 50, bro. This shit could look like like a Stars type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we'll see, man. I'm very curious about it. I told my girl about this shit, and she fucking can't wait to watch this shit. She know how fucking ignorant 50 can get, so we'll see.
Yeah, this should be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy. I'm sure he's gonna get his old bodyguard to be on every publication talking shit about B Diddy. I'm sure he's gonna probably get Mace to say something. I'm sure he's gonna get every single artist, from making the band to day 26 to
Oh, he definitely got Jaguar on that motherfucker too.
Jaguar, right?
Jaguar gonna be on that shit.
Telling everything. She be like,
hell, you never even know. He might even get Cassie on that shit. You never know. Never know. It's hard as all these reputable companies that were fighting for this shit. He must have, because obviously they're not gonna be fighting for this shit that hard if they haven't seen it. They must have seen this shit. Obviously they've seen it, so there must be some good shit on this doc if Netflix wanted it that bad. You know what I mean? There must be some real good shit on. Now obviously it's gonna be ugly shit on this documentary, but there's probably a lot of information that we're not privy to yet that we may get, and for how hard they fought for this.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see, man. We'll see. All right, man. Let's talk about LeBron James talking about his son. I'm gonna play this clip. Boom. Bam. And here we go.
I want to actually start with Bronny. Yeah. This past week, he was in Chicago at the Combine. And first of all, I've never met Bronny. But I will say, in all the interviews and clips that I saw, his perspective and his mindset at that age was like really stood out. It was actually quite remarkable. For you as a dad, and obviously my kids play basketball and they're much younger, but as a dad watching him go through this process, what's it like?
Wow, this is where we're kicking it off with, huh, JJ? We go right to that topic. I love it. I love it. For as a parent to be able to be, there to witness a child of yours start to live out a dream of theirs. It's something Bronny has always talked about, and he's, said, we asked him plenty of times, like, what is your end goal? And his end goal is to be in the NBA. And to see him almost at that moment, for a parent, is something that you could just be in awe of, because, I mean, that's what you want your kids to be able to live out their dreams, and whatever that is, whatever direction they take, you want them to be able to live out their dreams. And for myself and Savannah to be there and be at the Combine this past week in Chicago, to see him out there with other kids that's trying to live out their dream, it was a pretty remarkable, I don't know what to say / this is exciting feeling for our whole family. And I know probably know the same feeling for him as well.
All right, I'll stop it right there. What were your thoughts on his comments?
As far as with those comments, I'm not surprised. He's very keen on what's going on in Bronny's situation. He did make some comments as far as like with Bronny in the sense of like how he was kind of disappointed in how certain people have put a lot of pressure on his son in a sense of just the commentary and just the dialect of his son and his certain performances and whether he should be in the league, he shouldn't be in the league. The fact of the matter is that he can have that opinion, but in reality, he needs to take some responsibility and for the pressure that his son does have. When you came out and said that you wanted to play with your son, and that Bronny is better than a certain percentage amount of people that are already in the league and stuff like that, that's going to put a lot of eyes on your son. God bless him that he was able to recover from his heart problems and his heart issues. I've been said that Bronny should return back to college and play another year. I think he has the talent to be a really good NBA player, a player that can have a lasting impact in the league. Not saying he's going to be a star, superstar, all-star type player, but I think he could be on a playoff rotation in the league. You know what I mean? I just think he needs another extra time. But there are certain aspects in the way Bronny's going about this process and why some people may think that with LeBron being in the position that he's in, especially heading into free agency, and people may be using Bronny as a kind of like prop to try to help them get LeBron. I think that makes people look at this situation a little bit weirder, with a little bit of a side eye, wondering if Bronny didn't have LeBron to help him get so much eyes on him and maybe possibly help him get recruited by using his free agency as like a crutch to help him get in the league. Would he take this opportunity or would he just go back to college? LeBron needs to look in the mirror on that. I think he needs to stop, pointing the blame and pointing the finger at other people for, the pressure that Bronny has on him. He has some culpability in that.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, we see this all the time in the corporate world. Daddy's the big time executive, and he gets his son or daughter a job she may not even deserve it. He may not even deserve it. Mm-hmm. But they get, they get the corporate rub, and because they have that relationship, because they got their father up top. I mean, right. That's the real world. That's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course they're gonna cater to LeBron James. I mean, he's arguably the greatest player of all time. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You know what I'm saying? Do I feel like maybe Bronny should have went back to college and tightened up his skills a little bit, and maybe next year he'd be a lottery pick, or maybe even at least in a first round pick, maybe second round pick. I don't know. But the reality is he's LeBron James' son, and he's taking full advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I'm not mad at it. And then at the same time, this is the draft to try to do it because it's such a weak draft. Next year's draft is going to be way better, way deeper. So don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at the situation. I'm just saying in a sense is I'm not mad for LeBron using his power to be able to help his son get in the league. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at the fact of if his son is also a part of that. But at the end of the day, don't blame the media for what is coming your way with that, because the media ain't dumb, fans ain't dumb. Like we get the situation. I'm not mad at it, but just don't act shocked and act all upset that certain conversations are being had of your son. He's in the pros now. There's going to be a lot of conversations that people weren't trying to have with Bronny because they were trying to respect the fact that he was a young kid in high school and then in college. They wanted to give him time. You know what I mean? I think Stephen A has even said that in on First Take, where he tries not to talk about Bronny. He tries not to even watch Bronny because he doesn't want to have a particular opinion on him in the sense of, you know, kind of putting a light on him when he doesn't really deserve it right now. You know what I mean? But the moment you want to step into the pros, and if your dad wants to help you in that situation, you got to understand the conversations that's going to come about it, because let's be real, Bronny averaged 4 points at USC.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't look good. And we understand why. He just came off of having a traumatic experience of his heart stopping. I didn't expect him to have a great year at USC. I expected him to start off really slow and then build his way up into the rotation. And hopefully by the end of the year, he would have some kind of flow. And then going into the following year, I think he would have been full blown. We would have had a full off season with whatever team he was going to be with. And the show would have been going on. I think he would have put up some great numbers. He has the build to be a really great defensive player. I think he has the capabilities to be able to run an offense. I just think he needs to get more reps in that, get more live game action in that against, you know, some great competition in college. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think he will get drafted in the second round. I don't know who's going to draft him. I think it's a high probability the Lakers will do it, or another team. This draft is just pretty weak right now. So you're gonna have Bronny drafted, you're gonna develop him, and then hope he becomes out to the player that you expect him to be.
Yeah, for sure. We shall see. All right, man, let's talk some boxing. There's a rumor going around that we might get a Team America versus Team Mexico.
Yeah.
Is being according to boxing, it's being rumored that Crawford versus Canelo could potentially be an American versus Mexico in a Western version of the 5 versus 5, with Plant versus Mugia as the co-main event, and Shakur Stevenson versus Zebeda or Isaac Cruz on the undercard, along with 3 other American versus Mexicans whose names haven't been mentioned. The idea is to present this event as they would the Olympics, with both teams having limited edition gear, along with an inaugural celebration of both countries and their fighters in an effort to make boxing the number 1 sport in the world again. The SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles would be the desired location for the event, and so far it is said that all parties are interested in the idea. What would your thoughts be if this really happened?
Sign me up. Sign me up. I'll fly. I'll go to LA and watch this shit. That shit sounds fire. Like we all know the dynamics of Mexican and black fighters. We seen it all the time. We seen it with Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya. We seen it with Mayweather versus Canelo. We've seen it with, you know, a whole bunch of other fighters. So at the end of the day, if this were to happen, it will be a beautiful thing. I would expect this to probably be like happening next May, like kind of like a Cinco de Mayo, because that's going to take some time to plan, you know, get the fighters ready. You know, you have other fighters that are going to be fighting here towards more part of the end of the year. So you want these guys to be fresh, come off whatever injuries they got, and then they want to promote this shit all over the world. So with the promotions and all that, that's going to take months. So hopefully they can get this done. Obviously, you know, there's some bigger tasks. Terrence Crawford obviously has to win his fight coming up. I'm sure Canelo might have another fight here in September, so we got to see who he's going to fight around then, and then we can go from there. So I pray this happens. Those fights sound amazing to me. I'm sure they'll create even more better fights as well. Hell, you might even be able to get David Benavidez on this card if you're able to do that shit. Maybe do David Benavidez versus I don't know, figure something out. But you know, I'm all for it though.
Yeah, I'm with it too. I like how they splashed in Caleb Plant, so it don't look like black versus Mexican.
Nah, yeah, you know what I mean. Maybe you can do a David Benavidez versus I don't know.
I don't know if you can put Benavidez, because he would have to be a co-main event. I think he would.
Yeah, you could put him over the Caleb Plant one. I think that would be easy. I don't think that would be hard to do. You might do. I don't know who it would be. Like maybe you can do. Obviously, I don't think
have,
you would want. I don't think you would want to do the Benavidez Bivol shit. I don't think you want to do anything like that. You would want that to be its own paper, own headline.
unless you do David Benavidez versus David Morrell.
You could do that. You could do that if you're not ready to do the Bivol Bitterby fight, depending on when they reschedule that one. Like I'm assuming by the time they reschedule that, it'll be more towards later in the year. So,
And I'd rather have Caleb Plant versus Edgar Berlanga. Because there's real bad blood right there.
yeah, but I think they're trying to stick to the Team Mexico type of vibes. But
That's right. He's not Mexican.
I don't think it should be here's the thing. I would switch it from Team Mexico to Team like the world. You know what I mean? Like do America versus the world type of shit. That way you can create more. Then you can do the Berlanga versus Caleb Plant. Then you can maybe do this. Maybe you can do a Spence versus whoever.
But if they're doing it in LA, I understand.
No, I totally get it. I totally get it. You want more of
the fan base is going to be more Mexican.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe you can do a Spence Ryan Garcia shit. I don't know. You know what I mean? Add that shit to the card or something. I don't know. If you really want to get froggy with it. So
they was talking about Spence versus Steven Fedor.
Okay, you could do that too. You know what I mean? I think minus to me personally, obviously I'm very excited for the Tank Frank Martin fight. I'm definitely anticipating the Terrence Crawford fight. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm mostly anticipating to see what Errol Spence does. I'm very curious to see who he fights next. I'm very curious to see how he responds off that Terrence Crawford defeat. Who his trainer is gonna be, his mentality going into the fight. I'm out of all the fighters, that's the one I'm most curious about. I really want to see how he bounces back from this because we haven't really seen anything. I haven't really seen tape of him in the ring. I haven't seen nothing.
And I've heard there's real drama with Derrick James. Like,
yeah,
I saw some stuff where he's talking about retirement.
Derrick James?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah, I think he's just put off from the business. Like his stable.
Like he did some wild shit.
Well, no, his stable is just, he got the situation where Errol Spence, they suing each other.
And he got the Ryan Garcia shit.
Ryan Garcia, Charlos, both of them niggas is in jail and doing crazy shit. Like, his shit is spiraling. They'll let Frank Martin get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear. Honestly, he went from being trainer of the year to a total after that Terrence Crawford.
Spark when you started, but now you.
I think ever since that Terrence Crawford fight, it just hasn't really gone well for Derrick James. You know what I mean? Minus the Ryan Garcia shit. We're still waiting on the B sample, but I think regardless, Ryan Garcia was going to win that fight. I don't think Devin Haney was in that right state for that fight at that time. But man, I'm very curious to see how Spence does. I really am. I'm very, very curious. And then who knows when he's gonna fight. If he has all that drama going on, he doesn't even have a trainer right now. I haven't heard anything about him hiring a trainer. I haven't heard anything about him being in the ring. I haven't seen videos of him in the ring. So who knows, man? And I know he was talking about doing the Ryan Garcia shit. I don't know who else he was talking about fighting. Have you heard anything about who he's considered fighting? Spence.
The only thing I heard was Fedor.
Yeah. So you got that one. So, unless he wants to go off right at the bat and just try to do Ennis. I don't know. I don't know if you want to come back, to fight him right off the bat. But if you want to try to reestablish your dominance, you want to go right off the bat. I think why not start with him? Fuck it, because he really doesn't have too many fighters he can go at this point. Besides trying to get all the belts.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, man. Your favorite, Bill Simmons. Talking real spicy. Hold on. Fix this. Talking real spicy about your Lakers, man. About to show this clip real quick.
The Lakers are fucking done. Put a fork in them. It's over. They're in the same conference as Minnesota, Dallas, OKC, and Wembanyama. Bye-bye. You guys are done. If you're not one of those 4 teams in the West, it's a wrap. They might as well hire Linda Rambis as the head coach. They're going to do nothing. Hire a fucking actor. Hire John Hamm. They should hire JJ Redick.
How about Jack Nicholson? He doesn't even leave his house anymore.
Hire Jack Nicholson's son. It's not going to fucking matter. They'll be lucky to be like a 7 seed. It's ridiculous. Oh, then we'll see. And then this is AD's team now. It's like, cool. AD, welcome to the play-in again, because that's where you're headed. The Lakers are fucking done. Put a 4.
The floor is yours, sir.
All right, listen here, man. I fuck with Bill Simmons, man. He's funny as fuck. I listen to his podcast. He's a big Celtics fan, man. Like, he gonna say all the craziest shit about the Lakers, man. So I'm not really taking this shit to heart. At the end of the day, I get it. You know, Anthony Edwards is in the conference. Jokic is still in the conference. He didn't even say them. Wemby and Anthony Edwards. I get it. But we're still the Lakers, man. I get it. We're going through our bad patch. You know, we won a championship back in 2020, 2021 season. LeBron is getting older. I've been said it. I'm looking forward to kind of like the Lakers past LeBron. I'm burnt out on the LeBron situation. Try to do AD, try to get some younger pieces in there. I think we got some younger pieces that can fit, open up our cap space. I'm all for it. But we're always going to be relevant, man. It's the Lakers, man. So I don't think we're done. I don't think we're finished. We have a tough road to get back to the top, but I think the Lakers have all the capabilities in the world to do it. It's just that obviously this front office and this ownership has to get better. They have to. I think that's one of the key things with the Lakers. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. Jeannie Buss needs to be better. Our front office needs to be better. Our medical staff needs to be better. Our coaches and our development of these players, they need to be better. But that starts from the top down. So hopefully we can head in the right direction. Hopefully they hire a head coach that can help develop these players, help, LeBron and AD be better and more committed and all those type of things. So I'm not mad at Bill Simmons. I know he was going to say some wild shit like that, so I'm not going to really go off like that, man. He's a funny guy, man. Hopefully we can, be a part of his shit.
For sure. All right, man. Let's end this ride off on a good note. Let's do a movie recast. I admit I got this idea off of Kev on Stage and Tony Baker. Shout out to them. But yeah. I figured I want us to do our own little movie recast because, there's some movies out here that, everybody like do remakes nowadays.
Yeah.
So if they make this movie that we about to do with the actors, we're going to do New Jack City.
Okay.
So I'm going to name some people. Me and you got to come to an agreement on the actor that we feel can play this role.
Okay.
So at the top, Nino Brown, Wesley Snipes.
I would like to see Jonathan Majors play this role.
Okay.
I would like to see Jonathan Majors play that role. He to me, I feel like he would fit. Or maybe even obviously Mahershala Ali does a lot of Wesley Snipes kind of movies already. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be mad at him either. You know what I mean?
I think I like Mahershala better.
Or even Idris Elba. Yeah. We seen him in The Wire, bro. We seen him in The Wire. He can play that part, but you don't like Idris Elba?
I do like not
that.
Alan Payne's role, G Money, the right hand man. Who is a good G Money?
I don't know. Who you think for this one?
I think some good. It's a good actor right now.
Because remind people, what was G Money like? What was G Money like?
Who would be a good G Money right now?
Who?
What's the name from BMF? Lil Meech.
Oh, Young Meech. Okay.
Lil Meech.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
I think Lil Meech would be a good G Money.
Okay.
Ice-T role, Scotty.
Who would be a good Scotty?
Michael B. Jordan.
Nah. Man, that's a good question.
Trying to think. What's your name from Snowfall?
From Snowfall? Oh, what's my man's name? The lead, right? You're talking about the lead?
Yeah, Idris, Damian Idris, whatever name.
Oh, Damian Idris. No, he would make a good Nino Brown too.
But he wouldn't be too.
I guess you could do that. We'll just say him. Fuck it.
All right. Pookie, Chris Roxborough, Young DC Fly.
I was low key thinking of that too. Young DC Fly. You could do that. Yeah, you could do that.
You know, actually, who would be a good role for going back to Scotty?
Who?
O'Shea Jackson.
O'Shea Jackson? Yeah, I can see O'Shea doing that. O'Shea, I feel like O'Shea fits better. I think like Damon Idris, I feel like he needs like a lead role. He's more into the lead role for me.
Mario Van Peebles, the captain, Stone.
He was the cop dude, right?
Mm-hmm. He was the top. He was the cat. He was the one who put the whole organ, drug thing together.
Who would be a good one for that?
Somebody who can be an authority figure. Man, Ice Cube.
He's a little older, don't you think?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. He could be the authority figure, the boss. You gotta look at this person like he's a boss. You want to put Idris?
I would put Idris Elba for that one. I could see some situation like that. Or yeah, fuck it. We'll just do that. We'll do that.
The other man was big dude, stuttered.
No, Drewski.
I can see Drewski. Keisha. She was part of the crew too.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who can play that hard gangster role. Keke Palmer.
Yeah, you know what? I fuck with that. Keke Palmer. Yeah, Keke Palmer would be fire. I ain't mad at that. It's a big budget. This is a big budget movie. Goddamn.
Selena, which was Nino Brown's girlfriend when he canceled that bitch. Poured a drink on her and shit.
Selena.
I put Zendaya.
I was gonna say Zoe Kravitz. That's who I was gonna say.
You know what? I like that.
I was gonna say Zoe.
I like that. The old man who killed Nino Brown at the end. Killing your own people.
Denzel.
He's really pulling out the budget, huh?
Yeah, but big budget, baby. Only the finest of the fine.
Denzel Washington. The Scotty's partner that they kept bumping heads, Nick.
I'm trying to remember what he looked like. Oh, Nick Peretti.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I want to say
gotta be white, sarcastic.
I'll say Leo. You can do Leonardo DiCaprio or something, or Brad Pitt. You can do Brad Pitt.
Too old. Too old.
Too old. Jake Gyllenhaal.
He's still kind of old.
Trying to think.
So young.
Robert Pattinson.
No. I don't think he can be sarcastic because he gotta be a little scruffy, rough around the edges, and sarcastic.
Oh, what about the nigga Daryl from Walking Dead? He did Boondock Saints. He can do that.
Okay,
He'll be good. You ever watch Boondock Saints?
Yeah.
You
talking about Norman Reedus?
Norman Reedus, yeah. He's a good actor.
Okay, I'll take Norman Reedus. And the girl that slept with G Money and Nino put a wedge between them, Uniqua. I already know it would be perfect in his role.
Who?
Chloe Bailey.
Chloe Bailey? I ain't mad at that.
All right, man. Call the producers, man. Let's get this movie made.
Yeah, that shit gonna be a $200 million budget. That's just for the fucking actors.
Man. Another good show in the books, y'all.
Yes, sir.
And we gotta give a shout out to.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Glitch. They've been riding with us for a minute. Glitch Energy Drink offers a wide range of delicious flavors to suit everyone's taste preferences, whether in the fruity flavors like Maui Punch, Cherry Bomb, Blue Smurf, and grenades. There's something for everyone. Glitch Energy Drink is not only great for gamers and workout warriors, but also for everyday people who simply need a boost of energy. It's a healthy choice you can feel good about. You can find more information and purchase Glitch Energy Drink at glitchenergy.com. Remember to use the promo code Cris Mal to get 10% off your purchase and start enjoying these great, delicious drinks, man. So shout out to Glitch, man. Use the promo code.
For sure. Shout out to Glitch Energy. Where is it at? All right. Whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast on Cris Mal podcast, available, whether it be Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, whatever you do to listen to your podcast on, Cris Mal is available. Also, if you're first time watch on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and when we go live on Wednesdays, usually at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you could join in the live with us, talk about some of these topics with us, and be a part of the show, man, because we want you guys to be a part and interact with us for sure. So subscribe to the channel. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, whatever you use to do your social media on, follow us at Cris Mal. We will follow you back. If you have a critique, feedback, or if you have a question or a topic that you want us to talk about on the show, whether it be sports, music, movies, you heard it today, all the stuff that we talk about. If we like it and we, it's an interesting question or interesting topic, we will bring it up on the show and we will shout you out on the show. Because like I said, we want you to feel a part of this show too. And we want to interact with the people. So go ahead and shoot us some questions, whether it be via DM or email or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We will answer you back as soon as we can, as soon as we get the message. So. All right, y'all. Hope y'all have a great rest of your week. I don't know. I know Monday is Memorial Day, so I don't know if we're going to do a show on Monday. But if we're not on Monday, we'll definitely be Wednesday. So
For sure.
Until then, we out.
Peace.